listening to The Review on the OSG Sports Podcasting Network.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of The Review. It's the Online Sports Guys College Football Podcast featuring us, the Online Sports Guys. And ladies and gentlemen, we have us pretty close to a full house today. Brother Wilkie able to join us on this bright and early this morning as we record this show. And I don't know if you got to watch some college football yesterday, but there is a lot to talk about. We might as well start with I'll start with what to me was the biggest game of the weekend, and I guess really an announcement that Indiana is for real. They travel out to Autzen Stadium, taking on Oregon at home. Oregon hasn't lost in forever and a day out there, and they didn't just beat Oregon; they manhandled 30-20. Huge win for Curt Cignetti's team. Is this a college football playoff team, guys?
Most definitely.
They don't got a whole lot ahead of them between now and the end of the season.
Mm-hmm. They are. Bottom line. I just and after wins like this, for me, I always want to hear what Curt Cignetti has to say, because we always know that Curt is a very, very shy petit fleur. He is one that is always one that wants to just not talk about anything, give the quick soundbite, out the door. Do I really have to do this interview? Do I really have to give this press conference? That's always fun to make sure we always find out. Curt Cignetti post big wins is always must-see TV.
Hey guys, all he does is win everywhere he's ever been. The guy knows how to coach a football team.
Mm-hmm.
And now we've discovered that, or people in Indiana and Hoosier State have discovered football. Not so much basketball anymore.
Who would have thought it?
Good for them. When you look at Indiana's schedule, UCLA is probably the only game that you would be concerned about.
And 3 weeks ago, we were like, no way.
Yeah, I was going to say something we would have never said a couple weeks ago.
All of a sudden, UCLA's found itself, but that game is in Bloomington. I'm kind of looking at that Maryland game in College Park, because if you're looking for a kind of a not necessarily a trap game, but one that they may stub their toe on, that seems to be it. But I mean, you're going to Happy Valley, Penn State. We all know what a train wreck Penn State is right now. And then you host Wisconsin and go to Purdue to close the season. There's no reason why Indiana and Ohio State shouldn't play in the Big Ten title game.
Oh, yeah. I think that's a foregone conclusion there already, and that's going to be one hell of a slobber knocker, because Ohio State can play some serious defense.
And they're both physical. They're both physical football teams. And, yeah, I mean, that game should be played in the snow.
Yes.
Somewhere in the Midwest.
Move it to Cleveland Stadium.
Cleveland, perfect.
Slot your team.
Although Indiana people would claim it's home field advantage for Ohio State, so they have to find an outdoor
Soldier Field then.
Detroit.
Get it by a lake.
Yeah.
Speaking of Ohio State, slot your team. The Illinois Fighting Illini hosting Ohio State this weekend, and kind of a workmanlike performance for the Buckeyes. They win 34-16. Illinois would put up some numbers on them, but Ohio State took care of business. 3 turnovers was all the difference in the world.
Yeah, I get the feeling Ohio State could have put whatever score up there that they wanted to in the game. Illinois made all the mistakes, and it pretty much ended up the score line that a lot of people predicted. But the one good thing that came out of it for Illinois is they realized that going no huddle is probably their path forward. They, even against a really good defense, they were able to do some things, and they've got a schedule coming up where they're going to need to put up some points. So that'll be interesting. They've got a bye week to figure it out, and 2 losses to Indiana and Ohio State at 5-2. You can certainly live with that.
Yeah, after the game, Bert was commenting how Ohio State couldn't stop the hurry up, and it's like, well, okay, start doing that sooner.
Yeah, maybe that's a subtle hint.
Yeah. I'm sure Patricia won't make any adjustments after that comment.
Not at
But
all.
a quick thing about Indiana is that I don't remember a team being as prepared week to week from a game plan standpoint like Kurt Cignetti's teams. I mean, it is off the charts, and they're at or near the top of the list in college football in that regard.
No,
Yeah.
I agree with you there. And I think that's the magic of his coaching personality. That those guys are prepared. And when they don't do anything exotic. It's pretty simple when you look at it. And other teams just can't stop them because they execute so well. So yeah, hats off to Indiana.
It's funny how we're talking about a lot of Big Ten here at the top of the list because right now, arguably, those two teams are the best two teams in college football.
Wow, we must not work for ESPN because you're allowed to say that.
Would they
No
be
kidding.
bleeping,
No kidding.
would they be bleeping us if we did? Getting into SEC action, your top ranked going into the week SEC team, the Ole Miss goes. They get to 6-0. They're bowl eligible. They were a 32-point favorite against Washington State, and they ended up beating Washington State by a whole 3 points.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
How do you even get from Pullman, Washington to Oxford? That to me was
I think
Flying to
that's-
Memphis.
Planes,
Find a
trains, and
Memphis and drive.
automobiles.
I was
Yeah.
going to say, yeah, I think that's the planes, trains, and automobiles strategy.
Yeah. My gut tells me that Ole Miss, the Brown Bears, they were looking for the game next week
Yeah,
with
exactly.
UGA. And it was like Washington State. Who are these people, and how do you spell Palouse?
Yeah, they
it's
were
just
coming
like,
off of a bye week, no less. And
yeah.
they still
So no, they
walk through the game.
yeah they were looking at the matchup they got next week, and it was like, oh, by the way, we probably should do something here. But you just kind of slide through at the end of it, and I think that once again we are reminded that when you have athletes like Trinidad Chambliss that you find, as
Mhm.
opposed to the ones that look out for you, then it's like, I want to go to this place. No, Trinidad Chambliss was sought out. When you find that individual that works your system and does it well, you know that when you really need that athlete to perform, you're going to get that kind of a performance. That doesn't quite happen when you're looking at NIL in other places as folks are looking at you. But when you find that athlete, you get to see somebody like Trinidad Chambliss who goes for 253 and 2 yesterday and just squeaked out a win. I think there's a difference there.
Yeah, Mr. Chambliss has quickly played himself in the Heisman Trophy consideration, I think.
Lane
Well,
8, we'll see what happens.
It definitely helps to have those great athletes there, but and Washington State's been struggling. But again, consider this from the Washington State side. This was their Super Bowl, pretty much.
Oh, yeah.
That they were going into Oxford, Mississippi, against a ranked SEC team, and they brought out their A game. And Ole Miss, to your point, looked ahead toward Georgia and forgot, hey, there's there's another there's another team in front of us here. It's kind of punching us in the mouth. And when you look at some of the chunk plays that Washington State was able to get against Ole Miss, there's some concern there when you go into the Georgia game because Georgia will expose that.
Yeah, run those exact same plays.
Yeah, with a better quarterback.
Yeah, speaking of the Georgia Bulldogs, and this is probably something that John's going to end up talking a lot about. An interesting game on the Plains in Auburn. Georgia gets the win, 20-10. It wasn't exactly the best played game in the world.
No.
Nor was it the best refereed game in the world.
No.
The last 2 minutes of the first half took what, 45 minutes?
Yeah, 36. That was the time.
Okay.
It took
That was
36 minutes to play the last 2 minutes of the first half.
I'll be honest
Basically,
with you guys, it was a joke.
every play was up for review, which was ridiculous in the first place.
Yeah.
And I think I think what we have noticed here in this particular instance is that you've got to set a time limit on a review process.
Yes.
Well, the
90,
touchdown, no touchdown alone took what, 15 minutes?
yeah, because
And
and there were elements of it that you only could find out on television. The review inside the building, you're seeing all of the machinations, but you're not seeing until the bitter end the definitive angle, and you're also not being told about the audio portion that is being monitored as well. I think that after about 90 seconds or 2 minutes, to me, that means that video assistant review is looking for something as opposed to sitting there and saying, okay, we have a definitive idea as to what we're looking at. After what happened Saturday night, you've got to set a time limit on something, because then if there is no definitive angle and there is no definitive evidence, you've got to go with play as called. And I think that's the larger element here in this, is that regardless of what the play was, fumble, no fumble, whistle, no whistle, play stops, fumble, turnover, whatever, you've got to set a time limit on your review process, because then it gets out of control, and that final 2 minutes turns into the chaos that it was, where no one is happy with what's going on. But that crew is probably going to get a rather large envelope to each of their home locations, and they're probably going to be on the bench for a while.
well,
They
what
need home
that
next week.
review process screamed to me was somebody with a little deeper authority intervened, and there was a debate, and it was very much a CYA moment.
Oh, God.
I think
Absolutely.
now for the
But,
league, for the conference, for the
Mhm.
officials, and I think integrity came into play here because it was so close. And when you heard the ESPN announcers and even me sitting on the couch saying that's a touchdown
Mhm.
because the ball had crossed the plane, now you're going into the rules. And the rule states that the nose of the football has, once it pierces the line, it's a touchdown, which I
Mhm.
think clearly happened. And two angles showed that
Yeah.
we saw toward the middle of it. I don't know if the truck got it to the SEC in the replay room. They're supposed to. They're supposed to
Yeah.
have access to that. But it's not the entire football that has to go across the line. It's just that the point piercing the line. And
Mhm.
so, was that even discussed in the exchange as to whether it was a touchdown or not? It just screams to me that somebody with more authority intervened, and there was a debate going on, and the poor field official referee was probably the low man on the totem pole,
Oh, God.
and didn't have a chance to really inject his input.
Wow.
So to me, it was
And
is
to that point. Mhm.
it was a CYA incident to me, as it just kept going longer and longer. Okay, how can we solve this?
Yeah.
And
So
so many
and
there was
so
so many voices being heard, I think, in that headset.
Wonder how
right.
long it
And
was
so
before integrity came into it. You just
right. Okay.
for it.
And it,
I
and it
watched
also,
an entire rugby sevens game in the time it took for that replay to happen. That should
and it,
never
Right.
be a
Well,
it
thing.
also validates what the ACC does, which is allow you to hear that discussion
Yeah.
as it's happening.
That.
Yeah,
See,
I agree with that. I agree with that. And that genie's out of the bottle with the ACC doing it. Now everybody else. Well, I think what made it worse was the fact that you had replay after replay afterwards. Like everybody was like, we got to check everything out because we totally bombed that call. I don't know. It just it wasn't a good look for the officials. It wasn't a good look for the Southeastern Conference, and quite honestly, I don't blame Hugh Freeze for leaving the locker room into the locker room at halftime the way he did. You saw how hot he was and how he got after the game officials heading into the locker room, and I do think it affected Auburn's performance.
It certainly looked like it because in the second half, they could not do anything on offense. Georgia's defense is pretty decent, but they're not that good.
No, and neither is Auburn's offense. That's the larger issue.
Yeah.
Plus, after a
They're-
delay that long, you need to warm up again. Jeez.
Yeah, Auburn's offense is pedestrian at best. Their defense is better than average. And when you can continue to pressure Gunnar Stockton the way that you did, and you don't have a complementary offense, then you're not going to get then you're not going to get the results that you're looking for. And you saw that on Saturday night.
I mean, Georgia.
However, had Auburn scored that touchdown,
Yeah,
to make it 17-0, don't discount confidence and building that confidence, because they would have had that confidence going in their locker room. And
Absolutely.
it may have been a different outcome.
Oh yeah, game state would have been entirely different.
Performance by that offense.
Mhm.
Because now they're like, well, what the hell do we have to do? I mean, we just got a touchdown taken away from us. I wonder what that locker room was like at halftime.
Deflated.
Yeah, exactly. And that's your job to as a coaching staff, to go in there and build them back up. And obviously, I don't know if that happened or not. And
Yeah, you still have a half of
'cause
football.
you had a head coach that was going in to the locker room ticked off and probably as negative as the rest of the players. And really, I can't blame him. I would have been that way too. And especially the drive by Georgia afterwards, they got the field goal. I mean, obviously there's some momentum there for Georgia and new life for the Bulldogs, but at the same time, it was like a couple more calls went against them. So, yeah, I really think that affected Auburn the rest of the way. And I know their offense has got some issues, but I thought they had a good game plan going against Georgia, and they got sidetracked.
At the end of the day, you still have to play that second half, and if you don't finish, you don't win. Moving on down the list here, Texas A&M and Florida. Florida's defense put up a good fight for a while. The Gators tied at 14 after one quarter. They end up losing. Texas A&M wins 34-17. Don't really have to go into too much detail there. Texas finally gets a decent win for them. They win the Red River rivalry game against Oklahoma.
Just call it the Red River Shootout.
Let's call it shootout.
23-6. Again, not the prettiest game in the world, but they did what they needed to do to get the win. The Texas defense looked dominant, or Oklahoma's offense was highly overrated.
Yes.
Decide.
But, good on both of them for keeping that game at the State Fair and in that old stadium. Props to the city of Dallas for doing some renovation in that stadium.
Yes.
Hey, Sly, Arch Manning for Heisman, right?
Well, one thing about that game I wish I'd realized earlier, because I would have opened up a betting account, was I didn't realize that Oklahoma would be in the sun the entire game and the Texas would be in the shade. I mean, that if I'd known that going in, that was an easy one. But a quick point about the last 2 minutes of Georgia Auburn, the length of it and the insanity of it. The only comp I have is Jean Van de Velde playing the 18th hole at Carnoustie in 1999. But
quite the analogy.
We talked about it last week. Texas, this was a good spot for Texas in general, with Oklahoma's quarterback dinged up and just the desperation of it. So they delivered. They were clearly the better team.
First of all, the home team in that rivalry gets the sideline with the press box side, and the visiting team gets the opposite. So that's why Oklahoma was in the sun all day. But I got to go with Marty here. I love the fact that they kept it in at the Cotton Bowl. They kept it at the State Fair. They increased the seating. The 21st parallel is awesome to see. Burnt orange on one side, red on the other. You guys know how I feel about this rivalry. I think it's the best in college football. But as far as the game itself, I love the performance by Arch Manning. He's not Peyton. He's not Eli. He's more like Archie.
He's not Cooper.
He's more like Archie. Archie ran for his life half the time, but made plays. And Arch is now starting to figure that out.
Yeah, run for your life.
Yeah, exactly. So, but that was a huge win for him and for the Longhorns. I don't think Oklahoma's offense is overrated. I just think they ran into a team in Texas that got that's a little better defense than they faced and didn't know how to handle it. And the fact that Oklahoma's quarterback was not 100%, I think, made a difference in some of the decision making. But yeah, this is a good win for Texas. They've, the people in Austin are really starting to question about whether it was a great move to bring Arch Manning as your starting quarterback, and there's so much hype on him. But we'll see where it goes now for Texas, because now they're back in the middle of the SEC race.
Lesson learned: get your injury information from Chipotle.
Yes.
Somebody sent Quinn Ewers an apology.
Moving down the top 25 here, another good matchup in Columbia, Missouri. Alabama goes on the road and gets the win 27-24 on what ended up being a pretty darn good game. Ty Simpson ended up padding up his statistical accomplishments this season: 23 for 31, 200 yards, 3 touchdowns. This game I expected to be close, and it was. And Alabama did what they had to do to get the win, but Missouri's pretty tough.
Not a shock.
Yeah, the two plays that stood out in the fourth quarter were the fake punt that didn't work, and then the throw by Ty Simpson on that to get that first down late in the game.
Fourth and 8.
I mean, just incredible throw. And Alabama, I mean,
It was awesome.
Yeah. Ty Simpson, top of the sport at the moment.
Yeah,
near the top.
The best quarterback going right now.
Yeah, he's man, from game one to now, he is just zoomed. And look, I think Alabama is probably right there with Ohio State and Indiana, the way they're playing. I know they got some tests they got to pass, and a lot of tests they got to pass. But right now, I think your top 3 college football teams are Ohio State, Indiana, and Alabama. I mean, the way they've recovered after that Florida State loss, I think it says a lot about Kalen DeBoer, too.
It was Florida State, Wilkie. Come on.
Florida State played their brains out, obviously.
And apparently they didn't take anything with them after the game. They left them all there. They
left it there.
They pick them back up on the way out.
Yeah, as we said at the beginning, that it was proven to be a fluke.
You know how I feel about first games of college football season. They're a crapshoot, and
I would just go with the first 4 letters.
It came up snake eyes for Alabama in game 1. However, ever since then, they've answered the call and the challenges, and they've got some major ones coming in league play. But right now, I think they're playing as good as football as anybody else in the country, and I think they're probably one of the top 3 right now.
Really, at this point, the only real challenge they've got left on their schedule going forward from here is the Auburn game, and they should be favored in that game. The only advantage Auburn has is the fact that it's at Auburn. And funny
the boss
things
loves
happen.
You for saying what you're saying, Phil, by the way, but she doesn't believe a word of it.
Never know. Strange things happen.
The place is haunted. We know this. Saban said as much.
I kind of disagree with you, Phil, because I do think the Tennessee game is going to be it's going to be tough for Alabama. That's a rivalry. I also think the Oklahoma game is going to be a tough one for Alabama. I mean, you look at their schedule right now; they've already got 3 ranked teams they got to play, and I know LSU is kind of a basket case right now, but it's Alabama. When Alabama comes into your stadium, you're going up against Alabama. You're going to brings out the best in you. So I think those are 3 legit challenges that Alabama has to hurdle, as well as the Auburn game. We all know about that rivalry and how insane it can be. So no, I think Alabama's got some huge challenges ahead. And if they run the table on that, I mean, man, think about it right now. The loss to Florida State created an earthquake in that state, and now it's those tremors have come and gone.
And Florida State has fallen through the crevice.
Well, they need to find another conference. They can't win in the ACC.
No, they can't.
Yeah, last seen passing the Earth's core on its way down.
We'll get to Penn State in a little bit.
Oh,
yes.
yeah.
Oh, yeah. As we work our way down here,
Yeah.
Texas Tech, a top 10 team, believe it or not, they trounce Kansas 42-17. The aforementioned LSU Tigers 20-10 over South Carolina. There's really not much to get into on that one.
No.
Wilkie just mentioned Tennessee. Tennessee, another close win, but they did pull it out 34-31 over Arkansas at Neyland Stadium, and what ended up being a lot closer game than most people thought it would be.
I don't want to know about people pulling anything out, okay?
Hey, now.
Not there.
I didn't think it was. I think it went just exactly the way it was supposed to go. Arkansas had a week off heading into that game. New coach. Half the defensive staff was fired, and I thought the defense played really well.
Not really a new coach, a new old coach.
Well, new interim coach, bringing new energy, whatever that means. So, of course, Arkansas is just going for 6 wins to get a bowl game. Let's circle back to Texas Tech. I like this team a lot. This Cameron Dickey kid is as good as advertised, and let's put him in the Heisman race right now. I really like the way the Red Raiders are playing. They're dominating teams. So that's the best team in the Big 12 right now.
Oh, yeah.
The Red Raiders appear to be playoff bound, really between them and Arizona State. But Texas Tech looks really good.
Yeah, that game with Arizona State not looking quite as daunting after what happened to Arizona State this week.
Yeah.
Moving on down the list here, look out for USC. USC goes to 5-1 as they absolutely plow Michigan 31-13 in a game that didn't look like it was even that close.
Yeah, if USC doesn't turn the ball over twice inside the 10-yard line, this is a total blowout. I mean, they clearly had the better quarterback, and if USC can stop anybody, they've got a chance to beat almost anyone. And I don't know.
Football's a lot harder when you're not cheating.
How do you call you? How often have we ever said that USC is a team flying under the radar, though?
All of Los Angeles is doing a renaissance right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's amazing what happens when you let Jerry Neuheisel in charge of the offense. And
I thought he was head coach the way they do the coverage of the games.
I know.
Almost like his dad works somewhere.
Yeah. Well, they are clones of each other.
Very much so.
Physically and otherwise.
Except for the hair.
Jerry's got the lettuce. That is undoubtedly Jerry wins the lettuce battle, no doubt.
Well, I guess that UCLA USC game has become quite interesting now.
Mm-hmm.
Should be quite much more interesting than it would have been if you had brought this up in week 2.
Welcome to Big Noon Kickoff.
Yes. Your 9 a.m. lunch.
Yeah, 9 a.m. kickoff. Yes.
Uh-huh.
That'd be great for that rivalry to play it at 9 o'clock in the morning West Coast time.
Fantastic. That'd be awesome. Can we go ahead and skip to Penn State, please?
There'll be 25,000 in the Coliseum for that game.
That'd be fantastic. Everybody else will be sitting there going, "Oh no, where are we going? Why
are we here this early in the day?"
Look,
I do not understand.
Just
okay. Per request, we'll skip to Penn State here, partially because of how bad it was.
Yes.
And then you lose your quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, any hope that they had a
fourth quarter.
Any hope they had of salvaging the season is completely gone now. They lose to Northwestern as Northwestern comes into Happy Valley and gets a 22-21 win.
When was the last time we had that sentence?
Have we ever had that sentence?
That's what I'm saying.
Well, at least now he's choking on little games too.
I defer the floor to Sly for the time being.
Well, I have a larger, darker take on this.
No.
I mean, yeah, for the past 25 years, I mean, this century, Penn State's history has been largely bad. I mean, they somehow they escaped one of the worst scandals in the history of college football. Bill O'Brien saved them and made them, competitive again. And James Franklin came in and has brought them to a very, very high level. But the reality is they've got some ghosts to deal with at that place. And I still think there's a cancer in there somewhere, because I don't think that situation was ever fully resolved, and I'm not here to relitigate it, but yeah, that's a tough job for anyone to step into and get to where the fans wanted to go, dealing with their recent past.
Yeah, you could almost say that there's a ghost, or there's some sort of specter haunting them.
It's karma smacking them in the head.
Yeah, because they kind of got close. They got close to the top of the heap, but they can't quite get over that hurdle. And I think the ability of James Franklin to get them over that hurdle is come and gone.
Is James Franklin the Dick Motta of college football?
He might be. He can make it good, but not great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but Thad Matta was likable.
I'm talking to Dick. I'm talking I'm talking Dick Motta, Gene.
Yeah, he said Dick.
All of those guys. I mean, Jerry Glanville. You get him from
Gene Shue.
You get him from to better, but you don't get him from better to best.
All right, Dick Motta won an NBA title with the Bullets, so I would probably take him off the list. But
okay, so then fine. It's Gene Shue, Lenny Wilkens, Jerry Glanville. How about that?
Yeah.
How much longer does that coach have?
What's the buyout?
I think he finishes the season. I don't think he's.
That's navigable. Yeah, then you're okay. Yeah.
It's
not like it is in Tallahassee, 58.7.
What?
Not like the buyout. It's not the buyout in Happy Valley is not like the buyout in Tallahassee where it's 58.7.
It's close.
It is actually.
Is it?
Yeah, I think it's 55.
15. Maybe it was 55. Maybe I saw the number.
Yeah, it may not be as much, but it's pretty close to it.
Plus, they're in the middle of construction.
Yeah, so. I think he survives the rest of this season. I don't think he makes it to 2026.
48.6.
I think he's back in 2026 because there's too many good jobs out there that are open, and what are the pool of candidates out there that would take that Penn State job? I think he gets another year to prove himself, and I don't think Penn State is in the like the SEC schools that want their coaches fired immediately. I think he's going to get another go at it, and it's going to be tempered down a little bit. And then does Penn State have the booster base to absorb that buyout and get another coach and pay money for players?
Well, if they get their private equity deal, yeah, they do. That the Big Ten is currently working on, but that's a whole nother topic.
But right now they don't.
Penn State has enough bad karma.
Yeah, 48.6, and it decreases by $8 million every year.
Yeah, and that's why I think he lasts the season, but I could be wrong.
Have you seen the next 3 games, just out of curiosity? Penn State, at Iowa, Ohio State, and Indiana. Those are the next 3.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. They'll be lucky to make a bowl.
Yeah, they may not end up bowl eligible this season.
Wow, if they're
I'm sure
3
the
and
GPA will
6,
save them.
If they're 3-6, then they go to East Lansing, they host Nebraska, and then decision day is Rutgers in Piscataway. So they might be 3-6 and having to race to get to bowl eligible.
They could do it. It's not going to be easy.
Quick, name their quarterback right now.
Yeah, that.
They got a great backfield. I mean, they got 2 awesome running backs, but nothing else back there.
They don't use the running backs.
Yeah, they're fresh.
Now's the time.
So here's your.
Is it too early for any of those kids to hit the portal? At defensive end, both those running backs are gone.
You would think Brian Ferentz is their offensive coordinator the way they play.
Yeah. Here's your number for the game yesterday. Rushing stat, passing stat, identical. Both 137 yards.
Not good. Not good, Jerry.
Not with that talent.
Not good at all. Some other games to talk about here before we move on to the second half of the show. Trying to see. UNLV goes to 6-0 after they end up beating Air Force.
It was a hell of a game.
51-48.
It was a hell of a game. That was definitely Mountain West after dark, and you get that. And don't tell me for a second that Dan Mullen will not be lobbying for a P4 gig after this season, because either UNLV does or does not have the money that the athletic department said they did to bring Dan Mullen in the first place.
I think it was his way of getting himself back into the game again. Speaking of your Armed Forces Academies, Navy goes to 6-0 with a 32-31 win over Temple.
That was also a hell of a game.
I like to see that. Speaking of coaches on hot seats, I want to mention Luke Fickell at Wisconsin because they may have quit on him. Iowa comes into Madison and just absolutely throws it down on them, 37-0.
And what was the total, kids? 37.5.
Oh man. Well, you never try to get an over with an Iowa game.
No.
But I mean, that's more points than they score in 3 games total usually.
And it's more of a statement of how bad Wisconsin is. They got a whole 209 yards of offense in this game.
But you expect with Fickell as a coach, they play some D.
Yeah.
Apparently not if they let if Iowa scored 37 on them.
And what's the path forward for Wisconsin? With all the teams that are getting better in the Big Ten,
they've gone the other direction.
Yeah, it's going to take a while for them to even overtake UCLA at this point.
They're going to have an in-season trade with Penn State for coaches.
Yeah. Here's your path forward for Wisconsin. It's the Roadrunner and Coyote cartoon where he paints the coyote paints the tunnel on the edge of the rock, and then the Roadrunner goes into the tunnel through the rock and out the other side. Then the coyote looks at it and goes, "Hey, how'd that happen?" Then he tries to do the same thing and he smashes into the rock. That's the plan forward.
Yep.
Not a bad analogy there either.
Meep.
That's Texas San Antonio.
Guys, what do you say we wrap things up in the first half of the show? We've talked quite a bit about some of the games that happened this past weekend.
So the first half goes 45 minutes. What a shock.
And we come back in the second half of the show. We will talk about the upcoming schedule for next week, which includes quite a few games that of some interest. And, of course, everybody's favorite segment, college football on a budget. All that and more when we return for the second half of the review. You are listening to the review on the OSG Sports Podcasting Network.
Please like and subscribe.
over here in the OSG sports side of things, we talk football. FOOTBALL. College football version here with the college football review every single week. But for those of you that like not just football with 2 O's, but football with a U, FUTBOL, there's the Soccer Down Here Network. I'm John Nelson. I host the morning show on Soccer Down Here along with Jarrett Smith, Nick Alifi, Jason Longshore. And if you're looking for the best information when it comes to the world of soccer, based in the southeastern United States, but we don't leave anything off the table. 9:05 Eastern time until 11 whenever. Sometimes we go for a while. SDH Network morning show, soccer's morning show, Monday through Friday, plus all the live events we do. It is your place and your source for soccer that is based in the Southeast, but covers everything on the world. SoccerDownHere.net, the Soccer Down Here app, available iOS and Android through our friends at Spreaker. That's like speaker with an R in the middle. Spreaker, do a search for OSG Sports. Do a search for Soccer Down Here. All the soccer content all in one place. It is the SDH Network and Soccer Down Here.
Thanks for sticking around, everybody. You have made it to the second half of the show. And guys, we have finally hit the point of the season where we have pretty much a full week of college football with
For the
games
next
on
6 weeks, we do.
Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday games.
Happy days.
Very nice.
Some of the other games may qualify for college football on a budget, but we'll talk about that in a couple of minutes. Going to skip ahead to Friday's action because we have a game there that could be pretty intriguing. And that's when Louisville travels down to Hard Rock Stadium to take on what looks like going to be the number 2 team in the country, the Miami Hurricanes. Thoughts on that one?
Whatever.
I love the way Miami's playing.
But Fridays are for high schools.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I love the way Miami is playing. And Louisville, this could be a signature win for them.
Mm-hmm.
It's in Louisville. And you're going to have a bunch of liquored up Cardinal fans who've already lost most of their money on the ponies at Churchill Downs coming over.
Making the trip down to Miami. Making the trip down to Miami.
They lost their money at Churchill Downs, and then they go to the Fronton and lose more.
My fault. I thought it was in Louisville.
No, they're just going to lose money at the Highlight Fronton and wonder what this whole highlight is about.
Yeah, here's the deal.
JIALI.
What kind of crowd's going to show up at Hard Rock? Because it's what is it, an hour away from the campus?
Yep.
Yeah,
they're going to show up for my Florida State and another name brand, but for Louisville, this is where I think Louisville might have a chance. But I think Miami is a really good football team, almost a complete football team, and I like the Canes in this one.
Yeah, and right now you can get in the door for this game for $25. That should tell you everything you need to know right there.
Yeah.
That's an indictment on Miami more than who they're playing.
Right. I agree.
Yeah, or the fans. Kicking off action on Saturday, we've got some interesting games to talk about. The first game on the list, LSU traveling to Nash Vegas to take on the Vanderbilt Commodores. That should be an interesting matchup.
Yeah, I'm spelling a Vanderbilt win here, to be honest with you. Interesting, yeah, maybe, but man, Vanderbilt just impresses you every time you watch them play. So I'm smelling a Vandy win at home.
Oh God, they're bringing it. That place can be.
Guys, I just want to mention right now, the lowest price tickets for that game are going for around $200.
Good.
About time.
Yeah, I love the fact that there is extreme interest in Vanderbilt football all of a sudden in the Nashville area.
And
it's been a long time coming.
To be there.
Another interesting game right after that, and we didn't get to talk about them in the first half of the show, but the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets, one of the more impressive teams I've seen this season. They traveled to Duke to take on Duke. Georgia Tech should, will be and should be favored in that game. I think that Tech is your dark horse team that nobody's really taking that seriously and doesn't get a whole lot of mention, but they could be a party pooper for just about anybody, including Miami, if they make it to the ACC championship game.
Well, Brett Key has smart enough to know that when you win football games, you have to have dominant lines.
Mm-hmm.
Hard to do at Georgia Tech, but he's done it. And to
Yep.
me, that is the key as to why, no pun intended, as to why Georgia Tech is 6-0 right now. But they're right behind Miami as far as the pecking order and the ACC. And that would be a great championship game to see. I think they'll handle Duke because they'll wear down the Blue Devils. I'm a little concerned about their next game against Syracuse in Bobby Dodd because Syracuse is depends on what mood they're in. Some days they look great. Some days they just look kind of mediocre. John Fox, you would know better than I do. You're there. But I love Fran Brown. But that game to me would be the hiccup game that Georgia Tech might have to avoid.
I've seen a lot of Duke this year, as I mentioned in the previous weeks. I mean, and in sort of an elimination game to go up against Miami in the ACC championship game, Duke has a lot to offer. I mean, they game plan well also, and this to me is one of the games of the week. I'll certainly be tuned into it.
Yeah, good game to watch early on a Saturday afternoon. Moving down the list, your 3:30 kickoffs, easily highlighted by the Ole Miss game against Georgia. Ole Miss traveling to Sanford Stadium to take on the Bulldogs. This is going to be your game day game of the week. I would say this game going in at this point should probably be called a toss-up. You agree, guys?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And if Georgia gets off to a slow start again, I don't think they can afford to do that against Ole Miss.
No,
Even
absolutely.
Even at home. Ole Miss is just too good. And Ole Miss goes for the jugular early, has the athletes to do it, has the game plan to do it. And it's very difficult to recover if Georgia gets off to another slow start and turns it on in the second half, because I think it'll be too big of a mountain to overcome.
Yeah, interesting statistic that I read this morning. Georgia has been trailing for the last 2 seasons. Every time they've played a ranked team, they have been trailing going into the half. You can only live that way for so long.
Yeah.
Before it comes back and bites you in the ass. And against a team like Ole Miss, it will.
Mm-hmm.
I like Georgia. I like Georgia to win the game strictly because it's at Sanford Stadium, but I think it's going to be a close one.
Absolutely.
Moving on down here, brief mention: Ohio State travels to Wisconsin. The horror story for Wisconsin may get considerably worse after that game.
We'll find out how much they liked Fickle when they worked together.
Yeah.
Does he embarrass him or does he just beat him?
Yes.
That will be the 64-point question. Oh, I just predicted a score, didn't I?
Mm-hmm.
Looking forward to see some of the backups.
Moving down to a 4 o'clock kickoff that probably would have meant a whole lot more had Arizona State not lost this week 42-10.
Yeah.
Texas Tech traveling to Arizona State. Still an interesting game. The Sun Devils 4-2. They could give Texas Tech a fight, but will they?
No, take the over.
Probably not. I think they'll be in the game for 3 quarters. and Texas Tech just has way too much firepower for the Sun Devils. And this will catapult Texas Tech as the team in the Big 12 this year.
Unless
Yeah.
the
Is
Heat
the
gets
Arizona-
to Tech, they're done.
Yeah. Is the Arizona State quarterback still out?
Won't know probably won't be until a game time decision on that in terms of whether
Yeah.
he plays this coming week. You can see what it did to them with them not having him last week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Jeff Sims in relief went 18 of 38 for 124. So that's not an optimistic number.
no, not at all. Got to mention this game because it's the alma mater and it's our big rival, one of our two big rivalry games.
Yeah.
It's Southern, not State. Georgia Southern hosting Georgia State at Allen E. Paulson Stadium. If I am home, I will be watching this one. Neither team particularly good this year, but hopefully Southern pulls that one out.
I'm with you, Phil.
It's a rivalry. Records don't matter.
Too.
No, they don't.
Well, I've got an Eagle in the house, so I'm with you, Phil.
Yeah, I got to take Southern because I will never not bet against us.
Yes.
The other game, the bigger game that night, Tennessee traveling to Bryant-Denny Stadium in Tuscaloosa to take on the Alabama Crimson Tide. Tennessee's been another team that struggled a little bit here over the last few weeks. I like Alabama in this game. I think they win, and I think they win fairly handily, believe it or not.
I tend to agree with you, especially if Tennessee gets off to a slow start like they did against Arkansas. And I think Alabama has checked a lot of boxes now. They're clearly one of the top college football teams this year. And it may not feel like it at the beginning, but I do think Alabama will win this rather handily.
This will tell you what they really are.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would have to agree there. And then you got a game that's kind of another under the radar game, and it's a rivalry game, no less.
Holy War?
USC traveling to Notre Dame. 7:30 kickoff on NBC and Peacock. Right now, USC is not ranked. I think that'll change once the polls come out. And Notre Dame's been playing some good football after a little bit of a rough start.
Still, it's an elimination game for Notre Dame.
Mm-hmm.
They have to win if they're going to make the college football playoff. And you're right, USC is playing so well right now. I love this matchup, to be honest with you.
Might be the most meaningful USC Notre Dame game in quite some time. USC now is positioned, if they can win this game, with Penn State's collapse, to maybe be the fourth team in the Big Ten to potentially get into the playoffs. So huge implications in this one.
Yeah, I could see that happening. They played really good football here the last few weeks, and nobody's really paid that much attention to them. Like I said earlier, something you never thought you would say about a program like USC. Not really too much else on the list. Utah at BYU might be an intriguing matchup.
Oh, yeah.
Utah,
you got Holy War in Provo.
Holy War is always a great matchup.
Utah's playing much better heading into this game than they got off to a little bit of a rough start this season, but BYU is doing what BYU does and just piling up wins.
Yeah,
I just like saying Kalani Sitake.
It doesn't matter. I mean, between Utah and BYU, I mean, anything can happen.
Records out the window.
For those of you interested in going to said game, your get-in price for that one, $287. Which leads me to everybody's favorite segment, the stuff we end the show with. It's college football on a budget, where we talk about games that can educate you on the game of college football and only cost you roughly the cost of your favorite soft drink of choice, whatever that may be. We'll start because, well, college football week starts on a Tuesday this week.
Damn right.
All three games there kind of fitting the bill. New Mexico State traveling to Liberty. You're getting price in Lynchburg, Virginia, $11.
Nah.
No.
I lived in Lynchburg, albeit like forever and a day ago for about a year. Unless it's changed dramatically, no real reason to go.
No.
Other than the lemonade.
Different Lynchburg.
Yes.
Different Lynchburg. The other
$11 game.
Arkansas State traveling to South Alabama. Also, you're getting price for that one, $11.
On a Tuesday night in Mobile.
Yes. Because once the game's over, you can hop on a boat. And you can probably find you a nice little island bar, and you can spend some time to wrap up your evening.
All right, I'm sold. I
You got me with that. I changed.
I got the week off. I'm sold.
There you go.
And your final game on Tuesday night, Florida International at Western Kentucky. Get in price for that one, guys. $8.
I'm going to Mobile.
Yeah. I mean, if we're going to Mobile, basically we phrase it this way. We've been to Bowling Green already this year. It's a chance to go to someplace different, going to Mobile. Yes. And so if you haven't been to Bowling Green already this year, go, because it's an experience and you get to see the Chigger first and foremost up close and personal. And buy the gear because you will be poor. But if you haven't been, go. If you have been, share the experience with somebody else.
It's $8.
A lot to be said there. Moving on, both Wednesday games are a little bit too expensive to qualify for this list, but Thursday is not. Tulsa traveling to Dowdy-Ficklen Stadium.
$34 for Delaware and Jacksonville State.
Yeah.
Supply and demand.
Move on.
Big money. Your Thursday game, Tulsa at East Carolina at Dowdy-Ficklen Stadium. Getting price for that one, $7.
That was once there once. It wasn't great.
Yeah. Like I said, if it's a rivalry game and you haven't been, go. If you have been, share the experience with somebody else. So it's a conditional ding. It's like a dig.
Yeah, I think that might be the lowest priced game on the board this week.
Have we been to Peden Stadium yet?
Not yet, but we are working towards it. Moving on, Friday's game's a little bit more expensive to get into, but Saturday we got plenty of games that qualify here. Starting off with a noon kickoff in Chestnut Hill, Massachusetts. UConn traveling there to take on Boston College. You're getting price for that one, $8. And it's
great campus to hang out at, BC. It's fall in Boston.
Yep.
I know a couple of dive bars there by BC. I'm there.
Yeah.
You taught
perfect time of year to be there.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
The weather's starting to cool. Fall is in the air. Where better to be for a cheap football date game?
This next one might be the answer to that.
Yes. And that one would be Army traveling to Yeoman Stadium to take on Tulane. Get in price for that one, guys, $10.
Noon in New Orleans.
I'd rather be in Boston.
Noon in New Orleans on a Saturday, and you get to see an armed services team go up against Tulane. That is like ding, 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 ding.
Do we get the Bob for beignets?
Yours in New Orleans.
Yeah, that actually should be some good football there.
Yeah, absolutely.
But do we get to Bob for beignets like we saw this week?
Oh.
So is that actually 11 in New Orleans, that game?
Yes.
It is.
Yeah,
so it could theoretically be the end of the night to go to the game.
Yes.
If you plan
like
accordingly, yes.
Yes, that could be your nightcap.
Yeah,
yes.
I'm in on that concept.
Uh-huh.
It's all in how you frame it. Mr. Fox framed it correctly.
Yes.
I have to agree with him on that one.
Uh-huh.
Actually, guys, I think I have found the cheapest game of the week. Temple at Charlotte, a 3:30 kickoff on the plus. You're getting price at Jerry Richardson Stadium in Charlotte, $6. There is absolutely nothing that would motivate me to go to that game, even at that price.
I'm gonna
Nope.
go just because my cousin Danny Green's son plays for Temple.
All right, you got a little motivation there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
take
a
care of
good
the
reason.
family.
You'll be the guy with no one around you, I'm sure.
No,
because
probably
no
have
one's
Danny
gonna
next to
show
me.
up.
Buy 16 tickets for $96 and then spread the love.
And then your final game for college football on a budget this week.
Nuh-uh.
Late night kickoff at Reser Stadium in Corvallis, Oregon. Lafayette taking on Oregon State. You're getting price for that one, $7. And as much as I speak the virtues of the state of Oregon for its tourism and everything else, I don't think I could go for that game.
Hey,
No.
it's a top 2 team in the Pac-12,
That is true.
In the 2-pack?
Yes.
and you might get to see their first win.
Yes.
That's a great selling point right there.
Well,
That
and
should be
of
in
course,
marketing instead of engineering.
yes. And Phil completely skipped over the trip to Peden Stadium in Athens, Ohio for the fourth week in a row with Northern Illinois going to Ohio U.
Oh, I missed that.
No, you didn't. $6, same price. If you haven't been, go. If you have been, share the experience.
If you have been, still go. That's a beautiful campus.
Yep, and Ohio's still living off the remnants of their win over West Virginia earlier in the season.
As they should.
Now I have found another $6 game.
Uh-oh.
Dartmouth at Fordham.
Oh.
Ooh.
$6. Go to the Bronx. Eat some fine Italian restaurants. See some.
Absolutely.
Eat some
And be
good
careful.
Italian or eat
And
some
head-
great
then
Italian
head
food
over
or deli
to,
food.
Head over to Fordham.
And then if you don't want to go there, you can go to Yale Bowl again for Stonehill and Yale for $10.
Stonehill's a university?
Correct. I don't know if they're the Crabs or not.
Sounds like a good pizza place.
That's what I'm saying.
And they have crabs.
That's all I'm saying.
I don't want to change the rating of this podcast, so I'm not going to take any of these jokes off of that one.
Guys, I think we have rambled on for a good time, and we'll end on that really, really bad dad joke. Needless to say, this past weekend was a pretty good week for college football. Lots of good games. Next week, there are some intriguing matchups, some little less intriguing. By the way, John, your Seminoles travel out to Stanford Stadium to take on the Cardinals this weekend.
Singular, Cardinal.
Yes.
They take on one. They take on one color and one bird, and they'll probably stumble over it and fall on their face.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what happens when they run up against the tree.
They will run
Free
into
fall.
the tree
Yes,
and
yes.
bounce off of it.
Hit every branch on the way down.
That is true. They're going to hit every branch on the way down and gain no intelligence because of it.
In theory, excuse me, in theory, this should be a winnable game. However, theory is just that, an idea.
Well, it is an ACC game. There is that. And we know the track record in the ACC right now.
Yes, we do. Thank
And
you
we
for the
do know
reminder,
the-
each and every one of you. I really appreciate it, and I love you all very much.
And the
Yeah.
ACC gods are punishing the Seminoles.
Just go to the American and
Legal
get it over
action.
with.
Guys, I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up here. Brother Wilkie, we are so happy that you joined this week. It's been too long. We love hearing from you and your insight. Sly Fox, always a pleasure. John, even if you're in Auburn, we still love seeing you.
I'm in Columbus. I'm not even in Auburn. I'm in Phoenix City, Alabama, sir.
Oh, the thriving metropolis of Phoenix City, Alabama.
There's some great
Hey.
hot dog joints about a mile and a half away from here, and we're going there for lunch.
I'm just surprised they got a hotel.
You
But
can
it's
get
in
them.
Phoenix City. It's not Columbus.
Yeah, you can get them outside of Auburn. You just can't get them inside of Auburn.
True. $900 versus not. We went with not.
Yeah, I want to say no. I don't think even the one time I had to work a game down there and we stayed overnight, we did not stay in the city of Auburn. Anyway, for the entire OSG Sports team, thank you for tuning in, everybody. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. We appreciate your viewership and listening. Make sure you tune into the College Football X halfway through the week, where Brother Wilkie and Brother John talk college football with some of the people who make the game what it is. And with that all being said, have a great week, everybody, and we will catch you again next week. Bye-bye.
Please like and subscribe.